are so traumatized by the flood that they concoct a plan to build a city and a tower that reaches into the heaven. And the purpose of the tower was so that if God decided to send another flood, they could climb up into their tower and be safe. And the Bible says, friends, that at this time, the whole world had one speech and one language. And note that post-diluvian intelligence and ingenuity was so sharp that they made great progress in this objective. In fact, the Bible says that God began to marvel at their progress. And he notes that the people have one language, they all have one speech, they all work all together, and nothing they plan to do can be withheld from them. And see, God's objective is to scatter them and confuse them by confounding their speech. The only way he could stop the evil from succeeding was from stopping them from speaking the same language. And this is the point today, church, that what God did to sabotage evil, the enemy does to sabotage the marriages of the church. His constant goal is to disrupt unity by sabotaging your ability to understand one another's communication. In fact, in the body, there are husbands that are frustrated because their wives don't seem to understand where they are coming from. There are wives who have building resentment because their men can't quite digest what they're trying to get across. And the issue, friends, is that marriages in our time function like a modern-day Tower of Babel because our houses are places of constant misunderstanding. And see, friends of mine, understand that there is much misdiagnosis in the house. You see, some think that their issues are financial issues, but the issue is not finance. The issue is that we don't know how to communicate about money. Some think the issue is sex, when the larger issue is that we don't know how to communicate our needs. Some think the issue is just that we've got trials. The issue is not trial. The issue is that your trials cause you to turn on one another. And I want to spend some time today talking about the issue of unity and communication so that we can get to a place where we stop babbling. Are y'all with the pastor today? So go back with me, if you don't mind, to Genesis chapter 11. And I want you to look with me at verse number 6. Genesis chapter 11 and verse number 6. Stay with me. We're going somewhere today. The Bible says, and the Lord said, indeed, the people are one, and they all have one language, and this they begin to do. Now, nothing they propose will be withheld from them. Understand, friends, the first thing that our text teaches us today is that there is nothing that a united people cannot build. Let me talk to y'all on this side. Let me talk to the marriages on this side, that there is nothing that a united family cannot build. In other words, when a couple is on the same page, when they have oneness of mission and oneness of purpose, and they are one in spirit, that there is nothing that they cannot accomplish. In fact, let me just say this, that a power couple is not just the one that shares a large bank account. A power couple is the one that shares the same vision. And see, in our homes, family, the greatest deficit, it is not a deficit of money. It is not a deficit of food. It is not a deficit of church. It is a deficit of oneness and unity. See, the problem in our time is that we are not functioning like teammates. We're functioning like free agents that live together. In other words, we have different visions. We have different goals. We have divergent values, and we are wondering why things so consistently go left. And let me be clear today, friends, that your greatest relational asset is not your chemistry, it's your unity. See, let me say this, friends. I need you to get that the devil doesn't fear your income. The devil is not afraid of your profession. The devil is not intimidated by where you live, but the devil is going to work with hellish fury to sabotage your oneness and make sure that man and wife are not on the same page. Are y'all with me today? And see, friends of mine, when you don't know your greatest asset, you protect the wrong thing. And see, my contention today, friends, is that we're putting the greatest amount of security around the things that have the least amount of value. Isn't it amazing that in order to keep our money safe, we put it inside of a bank? In order to keep our jewelry safe, we put it inside of a vault. In order to protect our internet, we have a firewall. In order to protect our car, we have an alarm. In order to protect our property, we have a ring light, and we have all these things to protect earthly values, but we have nothing to protect our unity and our oneness. In other words, you're guarding your car, but your unity is naked and exposed. And see, understand, friends, the reason that they have unity early on is because they safeguard their unity. And what I want to say to the families of God is that we've got to put some safeguards around our unity. Are y'all with me today, friends? In other words, your greatest asset is not your chemistry, it is actually your unity. And so my wife and I have some safeguards that make sure we stay on the same page. See, that's why Sister Snell doesn't put me on blast in front of company, because she wants to safeguard our unity. The reason I don't complain about her to other folk is I want to safeguard our unity. The reason we don't publish our drama on Facebook is because we're trying to safeguard our unity. The reason we don't run to our parents with every issue is we're trying to safeguard our unity. And what I'm saying to somebody is you've got to lock the door, you've got to close the window, you've got to send some folk home so that you can maintain the unity that God has purposed you to have. Are y'all hearing me today, friends? And see, let me be clear that one of the reasons that they have early success in Babel is because they're all building according to the same vision.